Hi, everybody. It's Linda, and I'm here today with Sterling.
Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year to
Happy
everybody.
New Year. Happy New
Everybody.
Year. Good to see you all. So this is where it's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? This is the place to be.
Linda, I was called Linda's Den.
Linda's Den. So we want to wish you a happy new year. We want to thank Dan, my assistant, and Linda, Sterling's wife, for the
Absolutely.
wonderful job they do with getting up all our questions.
Yeah, during a holiday period. Yeah, so they put themselves out even during a holiday period. It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, and right now I'm not feeling any kind of weird energy. I'm feeling okay right now, so we'll see. Okay, so question number one, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Will Jack Smith bring charges in 2024 against 45 for selling top secret information to a foreign government?
Absolutely, but you're not going to see it till after like mid-year. So they're not going to they're going to develop the charges and vet them out, and so that's coming. But looks like to me it's in summer, after summer, it's later on the year. So yeah.
Okay, you know, they just had a big article, don't know if you saw it, where they found out while Trump was in office, he had CIA and Intel and everybody working on his behalf to protect Rudy Giuliani and to work against, those who were saying that he was crazy. The CIA, they were, this is what I read in a book from Lyndon B. Johnson's girlfriend. They were in on the JFK assassination.
They were, and I mean, there's new books coming out on that right now, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, it's just sad, our nation working, but I do think it's improving. Tell me if you don't think that's true.
Well, I mean, it all gets back to a power struggle and a money struggle. So that's where a lot of this roots in, right? No matter if we're in politics or business corporations, it's always a power struggle. That's where it comes from. So
Okay.
it's a part of humanity, right? So
Unfortunately, yeah.
yeah.
It's very sad. I know 9/11 kind of shook up all the intel. People were mad that they weren't talking to each other. So
Right. Yep.
okay, I feel that Ronna McDaniel is worried about the released audio tape and is considering turning state witness. What do your guides see for her next year?
Yeah, I see early in the year, whether it's January, February, her turning state's witness. Yeah, I do. Because what I'm getting is that she feels like she was complicit in what was going on there. She took the calls and didn't act on it appropriately, or something going on there. So she feels like she's exposed. And yeah, because
She's talking now, huh? She's talking to her
I
attorney.
hear her attorneys telling her, look, you better cut a deal quick, before wrath comes down on you. And yeah.
Wow. When the first woman president is elected or as a walk-in, will this be a Democrat or a Republican?
I've always gotten it's going to be a Democrat in 2032.
Okay.
What
Okay.
I've always gotten. Yeah. Still get it. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll still be alive. Okay.
You
Hello.
will be. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hello, Sterling and Linda. Recently, Fox News and Republican politicians and pundits have been after Taylor Swift, of course, with negative and derogatory comments and conspiracy theories. My question is, how bad is it going to get for Taylor? Will they ruin her career and personal life? Will she be able to protect herself?
Yes. What's interesting? She's going to surprise a lot of people in 2024. She's going to come out very strong in support of Biden and the Biden candidacy and
She already
presidency.
is, yes.
And what's interesting is that not only is she protected physically, spiritually, but people really are going to be very surprised that let's say, even some of the most radical factions of the Republican Party are still going to support Taylor. It's like almost like a protected, star entertainer.
Is it because their kids love her so much?
Yeah, it is. She actually has, that's one of her gifts right now in the universe, is being able to appeal to a very large class of people, large group of people worldwide. So they're I get the GOP, they're gonna really underestimate the kind of effect she has on the population. But she's gonna come out in wide support of Biden.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
How many countries are working with Trump to take over the United States?
Well, let's put it this way. There was at least a dozen countries, including, China and Russia and other parts of the Middle East that are coming out against the US. Not all of them are working directly with 45.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so there's not a direct connection, but even before 45 was in the White House, you've got a lot of countries that already have it in for the US,
right,
so
right.
yeah.
Well, that's what I was telling you about the CIA protecting Giuliani and stuff in Russia. They were protecting Russia because they
Mhm.
were right in the middle of trying to get, it's like people talk about polls, and someone said, I stopped listening to polls after 2015 when the New York Times said that Hillary Clinton had a 90% chance of winning.
Mhm.
She did win. It's part of that faction with Russia and stuff that pulled the rug.
Mhm.
Okay. Does the Heritage Foundation have its goal money or religious issues? Do they use culture issues to get support when they really have money hoarding as their main focus? It's all about money.
Well, stuff what I get from my team is all about power and control. So money is a means to get power and control, get leverage, get what you want. So it's not about religious, freedom. It's not about money. It's about power and control, still inherently, even in that organization. Yeah.
Um, Uh, can someone through free will choose to do something bad, affect the lifespan of another? If it isn't changing another's plan, then is it free choice?
Well, all of our life paths interconnect. I talk about this all the time. So we come down here, everybody you talk to, meet with, interact with, many of them are in your extended spiritual families. Everybody's life path interconnects. Free will determines how fast you move through a life path, your scale of achievement, your completeness. So everybody interacts. So that, free will is a component of everybody's life path. But I use the analogy, if you take a very thick rope and you stretch it out 1 mile, if you consider that's a life path from start to finish, somebody can come into the middle of the 1 mile long rope and kick it in the center. So it's good. Now it's got like a little bit of a loop in it, or a little bit of it trajects one direction or the other. You're still going to complete your life path. You're still on your life path. But
Wow.
that free will component may change the speed or the exact time period you complete that. So everybody's life path interconnects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, excuse me. And we always have free will.
Mhm.
Oh, hey, this is a good one. Lauren Boebert is changing districts due to impending loss of her current district. Will she win or lose the new district?
Well, I see her coming in with a lot of momentum in the new district, like a lot of cash behind her, a lot of momentum. But it's almost like I hate to say it, but it's like a crash test dummy. She's going so fast, and actually she doesn't make it. And at the very end, it's like a crash and burn. So something at the very end happens. It's like a crash test dummy thing. Sorry. You know,
She's
I,
not
I,
going to win. In fact,
not,
as soon as I heard this, I said, well, too bad. She's still not going to win.
but she's going to come in with such momentum. I see it. It's
Okay.
like everybody's going to say, "Oh, she's going to win. She's going to win," and just right at the last minute, something really happens to her. I mean, she's still alive, but it just something happens to the whole
Well,
campaign.
that
Yeah,
a lot of those maggots are going to be hit hard coming up
yeah.
here. They're going to be quite surprised.
Hmm.
Um, Hi, Sterling. An oil company is planning to lay an oil pipeline along the floor of Lake Superior, connecting the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to Canada. Superior is the largest freshwater lake in the USA, and people from Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota depend on it for drinking water. Plus, I have concerns about the wildlife in and around Superior. Only 3 people on the state board in Michigan made this decision to allow this company to lay the oil pipeline, which always seems to leak eventually. Will there be pushback movement to stop this pipeline?
Well, unfortunately, it looks to me like it's going to go ahead in 2024. It's going to get built. But what's interesting is that I get there's other pipelines in the same area. So this is like not a new thing. Like for decades, there's been other pipelines in that area. So it's not new. So it's almost like not it's a brand new pipeline, but maybe in some cases a replacement for others, as well as a new routing. So I get it's going to move ahead in 2024, unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Hi, hey, Sterling and Linda. I heard you both say women will get their rights back. When will this happen? When they do, will it be the last time they have to address this issue?
So that's a large topic. So let me divide into two. I don't know if this person's asking about the Roe v. Wade situation going on or overall women's equality overall. You know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah,
there's two questions in there. As far as women's reproductive rights, within 1 to 2 years here, they're going to start coming back. I've always seen the reversal again, getting back to Roe v. Wade, and I think that's going to happen in 2025.
okay,
But then overall women's rights, equality overall, we're all going through a whole 3 decade shift here. So it looks like overall kind of rights, what I'm saying, equality
right,
among the sexes. To me, that's a longer period. Yeah.
okay. Listen, it was only 100 years ago. We didn't have voting rights. So
Right, right. Yeah.
can you mention a few of Jack Smith's past lives?
Jack Smith.
Mhm.
I pick up a real alignment to the medical industry, like being a doctor, and I also pick up like almost being engaged in some kind of leadership around medieval times, which
Wow.
kind of brings you up to like 1400. The years of 1400. I think when medieval was 500 AD to 1400 or something. A lot of medieval. He's got a lot of medieval lifetime, so he
Wow.
knows how to be a warrior, is what I get.
Sure
Yeah,
does. He
yeah.
thinks ahead of time. Um, Hi, Linda Sterling and the team. The war in Ukraine seems to be approaching a stalemate. Aid from the West has not been as robust as it has been. How do you see things developing in 2024?
I see a real pullback around the middle of 2024. So it looks like it's going to start to come to a resolution, start to come to a peaceful resolution. Looks like it's more around the middle of the year. And it was like Japan just put $1 billion into Ukraine. Did you see that?
No, that's wonderful
Yeah.
because I felt they would still get money, even if
Yeah.
Congress didn't give them money.
What's coming? What's
Okay,
coming? The U.S. funding is still coming, but it was $1 billion from Japan, and I know something got pulled back a week or two ago from the EU, but I think that's going to start to come back too. So,
okay.
but it looks like the war about around the middle of the year. A lot of aerial support now with F-16s, so it's going to start getting better and better for Ukraine. Yeah.
That's wonderful. For some reason, I didn't see Ukraine ever saying, oh, yeah, keep some of the land you already took. I always felt them fight to the finish.
Yeah, they will, but it's going to be a negotiation, right? Whenever you have a good negotiation, neither party walks away happy.
Okay.
So it's going to be a bit of a negotiation. So,
Okay. For several months now, my little dog Cooper sits and stares at nothing. So does my dog Jack.
mhm.
He'll sit on a bench that I have at the foot of my bed and just stare like,
They're seeing family relatives.
whoa.
Yeah,
He starts to shake and then climbs up on my lap. That doesn't happen with
no.
my Jack. The other night, he let out 3 yelps and turned his head and snapped at something. My big dog came running over and was growling. Is there something wrong with my little dog, or is there something in my house? I'm worried about Cooper either being sick or hurt.
No, I just see it. What they're telling me is it's family members. Whoever asked the question, they've got family members coming around, great aunts, great grandmothers, something of that nature, and the animals are seeing it. But not all animals, let's say, are comfortable all the time with seeing
Okay.
other people because they see them as sometimes strangers in the house. They don't know if the stranger's there to help them, hurt them, but
And
those are
that's the
relatives.
snapping then. That's the
Yeah,
snapping.
exactly, exactly. Yeah.
What will the outcome of Ed Meese's case before the Supreme Court against Jack Smith? What case is that?
I think that's the one. Now, Ed Meese, he was an attorney general years and years ago, but I think he's got a case before the court right now where he's trying to make the two federal Jack Smith indictments illegal. No, I don't see it being successful. Yeah, he's trying to get the court to throw it out on the basis they're illegal. No, no.
Highland and Sterling, can you guys please check back on the Social Security Fairness Act to see if it's still on track to become a law? Has the timeline changed at all? This bill repeals provisions that reduce Social Security benefits for individuals who receive other benefits such as pension.
I still see a lot of hearings around that. I think that was what they called WEP, windfall something, and then there's a GPO. It's the WP program, GPO. But I still see hearings around that and having successful getting it overturned within 2024. It's gonna probably be later on in the year.
Maybe later on when the Dems are gonna
Yeah,
start taking over.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Each day, Anthony Blinken seems more burdened with the Middle East crisis, now the US border. Does he have guides or light workers around him?
Of course, and he has like 6 former presidents around him trying to help with negotiations. By the way, including Kissinger. Kissinger's not a president, but I see Kissinger trying to help him from the other side.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hello, Sterling and Linda. I have been seeing others on YouTube saying that there's a big change coming in 2024 for humanity's crucial next step. Can your guides explain this for us?
Well, 2024 is a tipping point for democracy in the US and for a lot of places around the world. So it's not necessarily a major event. I've always talked about it's a progression of a lot of things happening. It's a lot of parallel things happening. So I know people keep talking about one single event. It's a tipping point. What happens in 2024 for the US will actually be instructive for the next 100 years in the US. So,
Wow.
so that's important as a tipping point, but it's a progression of a lot of things. Gun violence, women's rights, amendments to the Constitution are coming up. A lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The billionaires seem to be backing Haley now instead of 45. How will their shift affect the SCOTUS rulings regarding 45? If they truly want him gone, will they be telling SCOTUS to rule against 45? Ooh.
Yeah, I don't get SCOTUS wants them gone. And here's what's interesting. I know there's some billionaires that moved over to Haley's side, right? But I don't see, it looks to me like there's still some back end support for 45 going on here. So it's not the billionaires that have been public about their support of 45, but there's some money laundering going on here. Yeah.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, so I don't see SCOTUS trying to remove 45. In fact, I think for some reason, I think they can still benefit from them.
Okay. Okay. My Republican friends and family are obsessed with the border problems. That is why they're voting for 45. Oh my God. Yeah, vote for him and watch what a wonderful country this turns out to be. What are the Dems doing about this problem?
Well, I see
They
it.
must be
Oh, go
talking
ahead.
about the
You want
border.
to take it? Go ahead.
No, they must be talking about border crossing.
They are, yeah. What I get on that is that right around March of next year, you're going to see massive new programs for migrants, immigrants, programs coming into play. So ways to process them faster,
That's
new
what I
funds
saw.
coming in. But I keep seeing March 2024, and I just got a cold chill, so it's just a confirmation, is that you're going to see big programs roll out. So it'll be hard for Republicans to say that the Biden administration is not doing anything. You'll see big programs roll out. Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is as soon as President Biden became president, him and Kamala came to Congress and the Democrats with a program for the border, and they just turned their heads.
Exactly. Yeah.
I saw, and I'll just bring this open, it could even be a wristband or something with a barcode on it. And I saw when people come in, they're identified via the barcode, and they can keep track of you until you have the rights to do things in this country. That's what I saw.
Yeah, I think that's very plausible. Absolutely. Yeah. But it'll be ways to process. I see more efficient
Faster.
processing so that you don't just let people in and then their hearing is delayed 6 years to see if they can stay or not. A lot of problems around that. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing, where is the motivation for the Republicans to really get on board with the program when they can blame Biden?
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
My 15-month-old golden retriever, puppy, Willow, suddenly developed a strange hard bump over her right eye. The vet gave her anti-inflammatory meds and antibiotics, but nothing changed. Since then, her eye looks strange, like it's rolling back. Do you see what the problem is?
I always have to say I'm not a doctor or a vet.
We're not a
I always
vet.
have to say that out loud. But what I get is there's an infection and a very small tumor there that needs some attention. So whoever asked this question, I don't feel it's going to threaten the dog's life, but the dog needs some medical attention. So have a vet look at it. I think they take a biopsy. There's an infection going on there. It looks like it needs to be taken
Maybe
out.
even go to, like out here where I live, we got UC Davis with top-notch professional vets. Go to a higher entity to see what it is.
Yeah, by the way, UC Davis, I believe still is the top veterinary college in the nation.
Wow.
Did you know that?
I
UC
didn't
Davis,
know that.
yeah, the top school in the nation still is, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know that the guy that did surgery on Lulu, who's a professional, she was only 6 months old. She had a birth defect that her knees weren't holding
Mhm.
together. And he did a great job. She's got arthritis in it, but at least she can walk.
Great.
What will the town of Grindavik, Iceland, be destroyed by the volcanic eruption? They say the ground is rising again where the Maga erupted earlier this month.
Yeah, and I've read on this a couple of times. No, the town's not going to get destroyed, but there's another eruption coming this coming week. So
Okay.
and that's for maybe all the earthquakes. There were thousands of earthquakes weeks and weeks ago we were talking about. So that's going to be an ongoing issue for a number of weeks in that area of Iceland, but I don't see the town being destroyed. It looks like it gets managed. So,
Okay, fantastic. Do you see anything coming up this week?
but we just talked about the eruptions in Iceland. Looks like that's coming up. I do see a lot more activity in the press regarding, trying to get 45 off the primary ballot, not the general election ballot, but the primary ballot. It's going to go back and forth. Looks like a few more states are going to get involved in that. Yeah. And then I still see ongoing massive behind the scenes ceasefire discussions going on with Qatar and Israel, the US, and other nations around the world. So I still see a lot of activity, even though we're in kind of a holiday week. I think you're going to hear about that in the press coming up here. So
Okay,
should be an active week. Huh?
I'll say.
I picked up one other thing, and I hate to bring this up.
What?
I don't like seeing these things, but it looks like there's a congressman not going to die, but it's going to get shot. So there's some shooting coming up involving a congressman. Now, the person may get scathed and shot in the leg or something. They just told me, some sort of a shooting involving a congressman.
That's so weird you said that. I've been feeling that for a while. I
Okay,
think a
because
Democrat too.
yeah, and I always hate to say that stuff out
Me
loud,
too. Me too.
but it's important because it tracks with what's going on in the universe. So people understand there's things going on in the universe that there is a higher order to things and a purpose the way it all plays out. Yeah,
Because there's still the whack jobs out there. It can't be helped.
right.
Okay. Do you have anything your guides want to share? Your beautiful guides.
They do
Sure to
this.
tell them I said Happy New Year too.
They're all with you. They're having fun with you.
Thank
So, the big message here is really just to stay strong and centered in 2024. So don't let fear move you to one side or the other. Keep yourself balanced, stay centered, have some relaxation time. Don't watch the news all the time, but you have to understand it's all going to work out for the higher good of humanity. This is all going to work out well. So stay strong and don't lean into fear.
And accepting outcomes is very important. As crazy as some terrible flood, an earthquake, but if you go through knowing that this too shall pass, it makes it easier to handle it. It's just like when people are talking about getting them off the voting thing and all that. I'm not even tripping. I don't even care because he's not going to win.
Right.
So it's like whatever. It's just like Lauren Boebert. Everybody's, oh my God, Linda, she's changing. I said, okay, well, she's still not going to win.
Yeah. But it's important. 45 will still be on the general election ballot. So
Yeah.
I still see them on the ballot. So yeah.
Yeah. But there's so much will happen by then.
Yeah,
We'll be all-
absolutely. So just in closing, people need to reach me. They ask all the time. Just go to sterlingpsychicmedium.com, look for the book a session tab. It's all very easy from there.
I'm
And I
still
think there's
getting great
openings.
feedback about you too, by the way.
Oh, wonderful. And likewise, I get a lot of people you've read over the years, and I hear things like, oh, Linda told me the exact same thing, so I get quotes like that all the time. So it's wonderful. So I feel like we're together even when we're not together.
Yeah.
People are saying, yeah, I just talked to Linda. So yeah.
And it's interesting because your wife told me about you, and we started talking and stuff, but I don't think this was something you had to focus on. I think you kind of got pushed in.
Well, that's true. I always say, the two Lindas in my life, that's you and my wife, have definitely given me a helpful push in this area. So
Right,
I also
right.
tell in a joking way, if I meet anybody else, their name's Linda, I know it's going to mean work. So I ask their name first. So
Um, I know you tell you that the clients, yeah, Linda's a fantastic psychic. Just ask her.
all good, all good. Yeah, we always have to have a purpose, a little ego in there. It's all
I
good.
got to have the ego. Let go of
Right.
my ego.
That
So
keeps you walking out the door every morning, right? You have to have a little bit of ego to
I'll
push
tell you.
yourself out the door. Yeah.
Sometimes I think, oh, well, this is, but it's worth it because our purpose is to give people hope.
Yeah, and the reason we do all these shows is really just to show there is a plan for humanity. There is a rationale. There is a blueprint. It's really, there's an order to the universe. It's more than what you see here. So
Yeah, it's wonderful. Well, thank you guys for coming and thank you, Sterling, for another wonderful Sunday.
absolutely. My last show of 2023. You're my last show.
Yeah, I
So
might do a little live
mhm.
just to say Happy New Year to people tonight, but that'll be it.
And Happy New Year to everybody. Have a
Happy New Year.
blessed, a wonderful, prosperous 2024. And we'll see you in the new year. Yeah.
See you in the new year. Love to all of you. Bye.